Okay, everybody. I think we'll go over the quiz really quick. I'm hoping that you got the right quiz and it matches up with the quiz we're gonna go over right now. This is the one. Number one is -2i plus -6 minus I over 4 plus I. This isn't the right one. I'm sorry. Let's if you could help the sub with the timing out for this. If this is at the start of class and you haven't done the quiz yet, just pause the video and then push play when you've all done the quizzes. So I'm probably going to start out with the conjugate. So I'm going to do lots of parentheses and 4 minus I, 4 minus I. This is straight. There's a GVC question or GVC question just like this one. I'm going to distribute. Let's distribute in pink. And like that. So on the bottom, we're going to get 16 plus 1 is 17. And the top is -24. Minus 2i. No. So it's plus 6i. We'll just write it out. Plus 6i and minus 4i. And then minus 1. 24 minus negative, so it's -25 plus 2i. So let's rewrite it. -2i plus -25 plus 2i over 17. Now we need a common denominator, so I'm going to times that by 17 over 17. And it's -34. -34i minus 25 plus 2i. So it's -25 minus 32i over 17. And I think that's the answer. I did do some stuff in my head, so it's very possible I made a mistake. But I don't think so. I think I got it right. Number 2 is his famous last words, right? -I plus, this is number 2, -5 plus 3i over 2 minus 5i. Which is, let's do the conjugate first. Lots of parentheses. 2 plus 5i over 2 plus 5i. Pink distribution lines. Oh. And then, so it's going to be 4 plus 25. Probably some of you guys are probably getting mad at me for doing that. So 2 times 2 is 4. This is 10i plus 10i. And then this one is minus 10i. Minus 10i. And then this one would be -5 times +5 is -25. And then I times I is I squared. I squared is -1. Negative and then negative make a positive. So it's 4, and then the negative or plus 10 and minus 10 go away, and it turns out to be plus 25 is 29. And then on the top is negative 5, and 2 is negative 10, and negative 5 and positive 5i is negative 25i, and 3i and 2 is plus 6i, and 3i and 5i is 15i squared, 15i squared, which is going to be negative 15, minus 15. So it's on the top is negative 25, and negative 25i plus 6i is negative 19i. So we're out of room. I'm going to write it all down here. I plus negative 25 minus 10i. So we can just change that to minus negative 25 minus 19i over 29. And common denominators. No, what times this by 29 over 29. So we get 29i minus 25 minus 19i over 29. And 29 minus 19, I feel like that's 10. So negative 25 plus 10i over 29. Then the next one, number 3, 2x, x minus 2, minus 9, x squared minus 4 equals 1. And I'm going to factor this, x plus 2, x minus 2. Then I'm going to do common denominators. This one needs x plus 2. And this one needs x plus 2, x minus 2. And I'm kind of being lazy. Maybe I'll do it all. X plus 2 and x plus 2, x minus 2. And then we can clear the denominator because it's equal. So it's 2x, x plus 2, minus 9 equals x plus 2, x minus 2. And now we want to distribute. Distribute there and distribute there. And you get 2x squared plus 2x minus 9. Nope, that should be 4x. 4x minus 9 equals x squared minus 4. That's minus x squared and plus 4, minus x squared and plus 4. And it's x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0. And doing x games, x and x, 5 and 1, plus and negative equals 0. That's just doing x games, but in my head, equals 0, x equals 1, and x equals negative 5 are the answers, but we need to be sure and check domain. Up here, the domain x cannot equal plus minus 2. And it doesn't. X equals 1 and x equals negative 5. So we're happy. Those are answers. Number 4 x to the fourth plus 5x squared equals 6. I'm going to minus the 6 over. Is this the same as the last one? Nope. Close though. X to the fourth plus 5x squared minus 6 equals 0. X squared and x squared. And, I'm thinking plus 6 minus 1. Feeling pretty good. It's hard. 6 is tough because 3 and 2 make 5 also. But it makes negative 6, so it doesn't work. So equals 0. And I'm hoping we're to the point now we can just do x equals plus minus 1. And x equals plus minus root 6i. Which is great. If you want to put I there, put I there. Whatever makes you happy. I don't like it there as much, but... Okay, number 5. So every one of these quiz questions, every single one of them is a CBE question. We'll talk about it in a second. We'll talk about the CBE schedule for this week. Number 5, root 10i. And it's a question, is it a solution to x to the fourth plus 100? Does that equal 0? That's what it's asking. Does it equal 0? So if I put that in for x, root 10i, and yes, the I is under the root, to the fourth plus 100. Does that equal 0? It's a question. What I would do is, there's a 2 here, and I would make that into a rational. So it'd be 10i to the 4 halves. This is called rationalizing the exponent. Making a rational exponent. 4 halves is 2. So it'd be 10 squared I squared. 10 squared is 100. So it's looking close. I squared is negative 1. So that'd be 10 times negative 1, which is negative 100 plus 100 does indeed equal 0. So the answer is yup. It is a solution. It is true. Hopefully those are okay. Those are, I don't think any of them were crazy tough. All stuff we've been working on. I think the only one that might be kind of iffy is this part right here, where you might struggle with doing that, making this into that. And we can practice that. I think the CBE will do the CBE Thursday and Friday. Can't just do it Friday because you have such a short day Friday. But so I think we'll keep working, and I'll do the practice. We should be able to finish up the last little bit of notes for all this stuff in today's video. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I will do the review and probably do another review on Wednesday, and you guys can decide. If you don't want to watch the review on Wednesday, you can start the test Wednesday. I just want everybody to start the test on the same day. So if we're not 100% ready, everybody, for the test, the CBE on Wednesday, then we just push it back to Thursday, and it's not a big deal. Remember, you have as many takes as you want for that test. You can retake and retake and retake until you get the score you want. You have to get a 9 or above, or you can't pass a class. The practice CBE is already up on the USU Canvas page, not the Bear River Canvas page. you have to get onto the Canvas page, and it will have a drop-down menu on the left side under pages. You have to click pages where it says all the stuff, assignments and all the stuff on the drop-down menu on the left. At least on mine, I hope it's the same for you guys. If you guys have any trouble, I don't know what to tell you. Probably not gonna have any internet access where I'm at, but we can just work on it when you get back. If you guys can't figure it out, I will let the sub know the password for the quizzes, or for the CBE. I mean, but yeah, let's talk about domain. Domain. Let's keep going with domain. This is assignment number 3. Talks a lot about domain. And there's several questions on every CBE about domain. Domain keeps coming up. It's really, really important. We did enough of the parent functions. We did 1 over x and root x, and then obviously x squared. So that I hope we can do domain at I don't know, maybe, we'll see. So let's do a simple f of x equals root 2x plus 5. So that and then we did talk about domain or parentheses and brackets, and I know that's confusing. I know domain is tough, so we'll practice, and I'm hoping we'll hope we'll get our heads wrapped around it. So remember this. Under the square root, the radicand has to be positive or 0. Cannot be negative. So what I'm going to say with 2x plus 5, the radicand has to be greater than or equal to 0. If it's greater than or equal to 0, it's not negative, but it can be 0. It's 0. The square root of 0 does give us a real result, not an imaginary result. So we can have 0. So you just solve this. Plus 5, 2x has to be greater than or equal to 5, and then divide by 2. Oh, minus 5. That was stupid. Minus 5, and then divide by 2. And x has to be greater than or equal to negative 5 halves. And that's the domain. So the way you would write the domain, negative infinity, from 5 halves to infinity. And negative 5 halves. I'm really struggling. Bracket, parenthesis. And the bracket comes from this guy right here. Right here, bracket. It comes from the parent function, really. It comes from, we can put negative 5 halves in for x, and you would get a real result. That's why you get a bracket. That's the domain. So let's keep going. We'll just keep making stuff up. X plus 3 over 5x minus 8. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. And this one is x. We just cannot have, we'll just write it actually. The denominator cannot be 0. So I'm going to do the denominator, 5x minus 8, cannot be 0. So add 8. So 5x cannot be 8. Divide by 5. And x cannot be 8/5. That is the domain. So to write that, that's in set notation. The test wants interval notation. So in interval notation, it is negative infinity to 8/5. No bracket this time. 8/5 to infinity. So I think what we've done so far is not too bad, but it gets tricky. So let's do another one. F of x equals root 2x plus 1 over, and then we're going to say x minus 3. Okay, so this is more complicated. We have more stuff going on, but I'm just going to break it down for now. I'm going to take that part, the denominator cannot be 0, and then this part cannot, or no, the numerator greater than or equal to 0. So it's still, we're just using the different parts of the parent function of the radical function. So for the denominator, x cannot equal 3. And the numerator, x is greater than or equal to negative 1/2. So now we have this going on and this going on. We have to put the two together. So let's do, I think it's much easier if we do the number line. If we did the number line for the numerator, we'd have negative 1/2, and then it's to infinity. So we're going to go like this, to infinity. And that is, the green line is the number line for the numerator. And we'll do the number line now for the denominator. And x cannot equal 3. So over here, x cannot equal 3. So the number line for this one would look like this. And we kind of have to put the two together. And maybe this trick, I don't know. I never know what's gonna. So we didn't write a number. This is 3. So if I put the two together, if I do this and I put them on top of each other, then you get a pretty good idea of what is happening, I think. So we kind of just squish them together into one domain. And because I can't have this here, that part of the number line, I can't have it here either. And I hope that makes sense. We'll practice some more of them. So the number line would be together. So this would be, we can write that. This is the square root of 2x plus 1. And this is 1 over x minus 3. And if we do together, the domain of them both, it would look like this here. And then, this should be closed circle. And this should be too, closed circle, because it's or equal to. And then over here at 3, we have a jump. So it would look like this. And this is negative 1/2, and this is 3. So the domain is negative 1/2 with a bracket 2, 3, parenthesis, because it's on the denominator. Denominator never gets a bracket. Then 3 to infinity. Okay, I don't know. I think we can try some of that. Maybe let's keep going and practice some more. Maybe this is super cheddar. I never know what's going to be tough. Let's do 2x plus 4 over root 3x minus 1. And this is that. So then the numerator in this case can be anything. So the domain of the numerator is negative infinity to infinity. It's linear. It can be anything. If it was squared here, still could be anything. There's nothing it can't be in the numerator. The denominator has to be greater than or equal to 0. Add 1 and divide by 3. So x is greater than or equal to 1/3. And That's gonna look like this. One. It's really not bad. Not a bad one. Nope. Can't have it. That is the domain. It's not negative infinity 1/3 because it's under the square root, and it's not or equal to because it's in the denominator. Those are what the domain and range problems look like on the CBE. They keep coming up. They are not very tough. They are important. Let's do one more. Let's throw everything we can at you and see what sticks. So let's do 3x over x cubed minus x plus, and we're just making crap up, x minus 2 over root x plus x plus 5. Yeah, that'll be fine. We want the domain of that. And the domain of all of these, all of the numerators, there's no restriction. They're both linear. You can have whatever you want. But this one on the left, the denominator on the left, I'm going to GCF. It'll be x squared minus 1. And that'll factor more to be x plus 1, x minus 1. And all of these cannot be 0. Cannot be 0. So x cannot equal 0. X cannot equal 1. We can just do this all in one. -1 or 1. And then over here on the right, x has to be greater than or equal to -5. So if we do the number line, -5, 0, -1, and 1. And this is just being as annoying as possible. From this one, we cannot have any of that over there, and that is a square, a filled in circle, and then these are just, it just jumps over. So it's -5 to -1, bracket, parenthesis, and then -1. Oh, then I forgot this is 1. Must have erased it somehow. -1 to 0. 0 to 1. And then 1 to infinity. Nope, I almost did something stupid. I hope that makes sense. Trying to think if we've done everything. Yeah, we did. I think we've covered all the domain and range that's going to throw at you on this CBE. Kind of all it throws at you. There's not too much more than that. Well, there kind of is. So yeah, hopefully it's okay. I guess you have homework time. You should have homework up to homework 3, and that's all there is. Good luck.